Hello, everybody. It's Michelle here with Angel Souls, and this is our weekly angelic message for the week beginning October 20th, 2025. I'm only putting the date back in there because people and our human brains, we really like that date in there. But as I said that, just please remember that when we're dealing with angel messages, it could be a little before, a little after. Time is not linear. Yes? All right. So let's get into it. Let's see what we have going on here, what we need to know. If you want a little more insight into how to receive these angelic messages, look at the video that I posted right before this one. I spent a good 15 minutes talking about different esoteric arts, how to listen to a reading, so on and so forth. All right. Okay. Hold on. Hold the phone. So, I think it was out of frame. This card fell right into my lap. Pardon me. Three of Michael, release the past. You will grow from this situation. Time heals all wounds. Okay, so this is heartbreak. Now, hang on. There's a reason why they're bringing this up. And then it came out with 10 of Michael. This was sticking out of the deck. A situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. There is something that you're in right now, or that we're all engaging in, and it's not right for us. It's not right with the people. Maybe it was right to come in and reset you a little bit, or come in and give you a different perspective, teach you a little something so you're no longer intimidated by it. But enough is enough. So this is an ending. And it has an emotional pull on you. Now, this could be, I get a little sense of injustice around this. It could be, let's talk about this. If you notice in our society, and I think this is in a lot of cultures around the world, perpetrators get protected. And victims are held accountable to stop feeling what they're feeling. Now, there are the blatant examples of that. What were you wearing? Why were you acting like that? You smiled at him too much. He thought that was an invitation. Just ignore them. Don't engage. Why are you letting them get to you like this? Toughen up, get thick skin, quit complaining, quit griping. Those are all things that are often told to people who are, for example, scapegoated. There could be workplace mobbing going on. There's one target, and it's going to be the targeted person that's going to get blamed for making trouble if they speak up. All the while, the perpetrator is allowed to just keep on with their behavior, either because most people are intimidated by that person, scared of that person, or they do something that they need, so they don't want to make waves with them. I'm living in a small town again. I'll tell you what, this is one of the scarier places I've ever lived because of small town politics and some of the evil stuff that goes on and just how people behave. I mean, not outwardly. It's more like behind the scenes, underhanded smile. Do the church smile because you're church nice. You know, you're doing the, I can do whatever I want because all I have to do is repent on Sunday, and then I'm reset and I still look like I'm a pillar of the community and I'm perfect, right? You know the type. It's not every Christian, obviously, but you know the type. All right, let's get more on this. Let's see what's going on here. Now, there will be back-to-back videos. I, again, was pretty late trying to catch up with, I try to post once a week. Get something up once a week. So I was getting it right at the end of last week, and I'm posting the one for the coming week. So it'll be, like I said, back to back. All right, let's get more on this. What are we talking about here? The moon. All right, so we have the number 18 on here. 1 is the self, it's manifestation. 8 is a cycle. It can be a karmic cycle, but it's often associated with abundance. We would add the 1 and the 8 for a 9. The 9 is realizing it can't go on like this anymore. It's saying, I'm done. And it's almost like I don't know how I went from being free and creative and abundant to being like trapped in this prison. Now, whatever that prison looks like, maybe you felt the need to, because there's so much pressure to get married and have kids, like you're somehow not a decent human being unless you do that. Maybe you kind of got swept up in that. Or some of you, I hate to say this, but again, it comes down to the pressure of being in a relationship. And this, it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, however you identify. If you went into a dynamic with someone else because you felt like that was what was going to complete you as a person, that was going to make you more valuable in society. Yeah. You're breaking out of that now. But the moon, it's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of your intuition. It's that divine, loving nurturance, potentially, if used properly, right? But it's a cycle, and the cycle is over. The cycle is over. So this is Archangel Haniel. So Haniel comes forward. She's in charge of, again, they don't really have gender. It's just for ease of conversation for our human brains. Archangel Haniel is in charge of like a healing energy, balancing you again, balancing your energy field. She's also known to help balance hormones, but also to help you get in touch with your intuition. And think of a full moon illuminating things that outside of its moonbeam is in the shadows, right? So it's like being hidden. So illuminating things that were previously hidden. So it could be that there's some uncomfortable information coming up. This could be things that you already kind of knew. You already knew. Like the writing was on the wall. Your friends aren't that great. They leave you behind. Maybe you have somebody in your life who, they trust everybody else, but you were the last to know something. And you're like, you don't value my input. You don't value the connection with me. And yes, it is in this coming week. Now, again, with angelic messaging, it could be a little before, a little after, but really there's some major cracking. Something cracks. Let's keep going here. The opportunity to improve your plans. Listen to your intuition for accurate guidance. Face your fears and grow stronger. For some of you out there, it could be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to go back out and look for another job. That was such a painful process. It was such a scary process because there are a lot of scams going on. I don't want to have to do that anymore. But or I don't want to go back into the dating scene. I don't, my partner and I live together. I don't want to have to split everything. It's just too, that's why most of us stay in our situations that we stay in, because it's too much work to get away from it. Right? Oh my God. Okay. All right. We'll get a card from the other deck as well. Y'all lean in. I'm glad we have us here as a community, the Angel Souls community. And I want to give a special shout out to all my ride or dies who have stuck by me even when, and people laugh at this and say I'm just making excuses. But as you've heard me say in previous videos, if you've been here a hot minute, I there for a time was getting hundreds of thousands of views on my videos. And now I'm barely breaking 1,000. And that started happening when that thing in 2020 was happening, and I didn't know it was against the law to come out here and talk about it. It was after that I started getting these false warnings. If you don't know, just recently, I know I sound paranoid, but I can't, it's happening. I don't know what to tell you. Are we going to pretend like it's not there and just explain it away? My Facebook and my Instagram got completely wiped out for a false accusation. I tried to appeal it. They immediately said no. I'm still fighting it, but I think what I'm going to, and I'll keep you guys posted. I think what I'm going to have to do is just try to get whatever information from those pages that I can and just start fresh. And that stinks because I had several thousand people following me on Facebook. Not as many on Instagram. By the time Insta came along, I'm like, I'm tired. I'm out here doing YouTube. What do you want? Who's this? Now I got to learn you. And now we got TikTok, the little brat out there in the social media world. I love TikTok, actually. So anyway, we have the Justice card. Here's that number 8. The 8 was here, and here's the 8 here. This to me is saying it's time to be free. But with the Justice card here, it's showing me that something, I heard vilified. Like, vilified? Is that a word? Vilified. Like you've been vilified. Again, maybe you're a mirror energy. Maybe you showed up in a place and you started telling it like it is, and everyone's like, you're the problem. Because they want to be in their toxic safety. It's what they're used to. Or people banding together. You never know who to trust. One minute someone's your friend, the next minute they're not. One minute you're getting along with a coworker, now it seems like they're ganging up. They're joining forces with someone else and ganging up on you. And especially for those of you who don't play games. Isn't that interesting? If you don't play games in the workplace, isn't it funny how people try to drag you in? And if you're just standing there and someone's telling you a bit of gossip and you try to just correct them and say that's not true, they'll go back and say, they participated in the gossip. They participated. They were there. You see what I'm saying? So it feels like there's just a lot of unfair, a lot of mistreatment. Some of you might actually be doing a legal battle here. You may, if you're going through a legal case right now, you may not get the outcome you were hoping for, but it's over. It's over. And for some of you, it's just sort of like conceding and saying, take it. Just take it. I don't want it anymore. You know, if you're going through a divorce, it could be that. Custody battles, we're going to leave custody battles out of this. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to work out in your favor. I think more in that situation for some of you, it's addressing, it's not about the kids. It's about the kids, but it's not like there's something like you're not going to lose your kids necessarily, but it's sort of like someone gets exposed. So someone's narcissism gets exposed, because, and on the inside, your heart is breaking because not only are you going through a divorce, but now you got to fight to have your own children. Right? So that's happening for at least a few of you out there. So someone's getting exposed here. And it could be like such a letdown. It's so, again, the whole thing is heartbreaking. But at least it's done. At least it's done. And again, the moon says, hey, I'm going to be okay. Things are dark right now, but I've got the light of the moon. I got the light of the moon. So I'm not completely without insight, right? So this is Archangel Raguel. So Raguel helps us when we are going through our life's path, learning with one another through our relationships. So Raguel will definitely show up when it's time to stop taking nonsense off of people. And I really want to say, I feel like this heartbreak is sort of like, I gave you so much. This is not right. This is not right. You're making accusations that are untrue. Let's say this is a job situation. Well, this could have been, again, workplace mobbing. Someone's doing something illegal here. Yes. And some of you may be turning around and suing an employer because they just sat back and allowed you to get harassed and bullied or whatever. Or I don't know that those things exactly are illegal, but that contributing to a hostile work environment, that then I think is, I don't know, check with an expert. But this is just, I'm tired, right? It's giving the energy of I'm tired. The moon is at night. It's more subdued. It's sort of going within, right? We're going to get more on this. So fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor. Okay, so there you go. Don't give up. Now, the reason why I said I don't know that all of you are going to get the outcome you want is because of these other cards here. It's the 3 of Michael. It's the 10 of Michael. And it's just saying, this isn't worth me sacrificing my mental health. I'm out of here. Okay? Or we're going to end this. Or we're going to, bring it to a close. Let me get more on this. This is a tough one. So we're going to make sure everything's cute. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Wait, what? if you're like, Michelle, what the heck's going on? I don't know. Okay. I, okay. So these cards were flipped around, and I feel like these are, we're taking all of them. Okay. So this is the one that flopped out. This is soulmates. So I almost feel like they're saying, hey, don't panic. It's going to be uncomfortable here. And you think someone's getting away with something, but they're not, because, darling, God sees everything. God sees everything. So all this stuff that is going to be rumbling and happening this coming week and beyond. Remember, it's a little before, a little after. Okay. Sorry, it can't be in a nice, neat little box to satisfy our egos. I'm a human too. I like things to be neat and tidy with the label, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. The soulmate, it's bringing in like a real love partner. And even if you're single and you're like, well, that's not the problem. If you're in a soul-sucking job that's constantly tearing you down, even though you might be the most talented, most qualified person, most educated person in that place, they just have to knock you around because of jealousy, because they know they can't hold a candle to you, right? So, this can get in the way of other areas of your life. So if you're going, no, this is making me forget my self-worth, I'm even forgetting all my accomplishments, I'm forgetting all the hard work I've put into my life, now it opens it up. Now that soulmate could be, I'm just seeing if there's any other romantic cards, but it could be a romantic partner. So again, if you are single, or, yeah, I just heard heart opening. This is somebody comes forward and opens your heart, and they show you what a loving partner is supposed to be. Not what society keeps explaining away. I'll tell you what, you want to see me get riled? The stuff that we try to normalize. It's normal that couples are fighting all the time. It's normal to just bail on your friends because you're not in the mood to go out. Now, if you better have gastrointestinal problems, you cancel on me. I'll tell you what, let me repeat that. Gastrointestinal, okay? I don't care. If I got my contacts in and my lashes and I did a liner thing, I can't really do winged eyeliner anymore. I think I'm too old. But lashes, contacts, heels, and some sort of Spanx, figure it out. Get you some Imodium. Get you some Depends. I don't care. You're coming out. I probably shouldn't tell people so much of who I am on the internet. Emerging. So you have not been true. Well, here, let me put it this way. You're at a place now where it's no longer serving you. So I don't want to make it seem like how you've been living or whatever. It was the right thing for you at the time. But some of you have been in fast forward motion, learning and summing up your lessons. And that's wonderful. So having said that, though, this other crap, can I say that? This has to end enough, right? So that you can get back to you. And part of the support that's here would be through listening. Now, you see here in this card, there's an angel in the background there. So this is all about listening to your angels, your spirit guides, the messages that are coming through. And isn't this interesting? Here's children, and there was justice there, and I felt like there might be a custody battle. So that's pertaining to some of you. For others, this is maybe you've been looking for your soulmate so that you can have children. Well, now, because you've learned some sort of lesson, this could be blossoming for you. For others, I feel like it's a reminder here that you have a huge impact on children. They're watching, they're being inspired by you. They're going to remember those core memories. Okay. And I want to give an example here, or this could be inner child type work, recapturing your own innocence. I just went to a place called Cedar Point on Friday. If you guys ever see me out there, say hi. Approach nicely though. Sometimes I will go up there by myself just to like walk around. It's good exercise. So if you see me alone, it's fine. Okay. I usually have people with me, but it's cool. But anyway, I went with some people, and it's like their Halloween weekends or whatever. And everyone's just constantly jumping out at you and all this stuff. And I'm such a sucker, and they know I'm a sucker because they're targeting me. I know it. I see it in your eyes. Okay. But I'm walking through this line, And there's this kid, he's probably 12 years old, something like that. He jumps out at me. He's not one of the characters or anything. He's just a kid in line, and he jumps out at me. And I turned and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and he looked like he was in trouble. Like he was like, oh no, she saw me. And I was like, dude, geez. And we all got a big laugh out of it. The reason why I'm telling you that is that kid will probably tell that story when he's an adult about the time he thought he was in for it because a woman stopped and like looked over at him and basically caught him trying to be sneaky and everything. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we're affecting kids. So, keep that in mind here. There is something big opening up. This could be perhaps a move. Some of you are going to be moving overseas. Some of you are just getting to a place where you're not willing to struggle anymore. And I know that sounds a little crazy because our society keeps telling us you should struggle. Like it's honorable to struggle. Like somehow you're lazy if you're not struggling. It doesn't have to be that way. So you're correcting this energy. Now I'm going to do some dailies. Make sure you're checking them out. Of course, it helps me out and it helps me get past some of these weird things that have been happening for the past 5 years. If you like, share, subscribe, I'll keep you posted on the Facebook and Instagram. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, spiritually speaking, that's going to drain me to try to fight that and have to get it back. And I know exactly what it is. I know it's happening like that, but more on that later. Again, if you want personal readings, there are 2 styles that you could get. I do have a library of videos over at gumroad.com/angelsouls, so you can check that out. But if you want a personal reading, you can get the standard reading, which is delivered to you via email. No time commitment on your part. You just book that at angelsouls444.com. The price for that is $95 per 30 minutes. There's a 25-day wait time. I do my best to try to get it to you ahead of time, but please don't bug me about it. It's just annoying. I don't know. I know. I should probably be more patient with that, but why aren't you more patient? No, see, no. Okay, that's me saying I need to be more patient. You need to be more patient. You be more patient. Again, it's probably not going to be 25 days. I try not to make it be that. If it is 25 days, I need to stop showing the internet who I really am. This is terrible. No, but if it is 25 days, it's usually because just a lot of work came up. Sometimes there's been times I've been sick and I've had to reach out to them, maybe like, hey, I haven't forgotten you. It's coming, that sort of thing. Now, if you want to get a live session, that's done via Zoom. You can email me at angelsouls444@gmail.com. Those are $130 per 30 minutes. If you are a talker, it's your money. It's a little disrespectful to me as a reader because you came to do a reading and you're not letting me read for you. So if you want, I'm on it today. If you want someone to just listen because you need that, or, like we're tapping into angels, all the angelic stuff is happening. Okay. So you're getting that healing if you just need to let it out, but make that clear to me in your email or even at the top of the reading. The other way to get the most out of your live session is to come with all of your questions. And this is just from trial and error over years of doing this. We get the most out of it if you let me know what you want me to cover up front. Yes? And then that's what we're going to spend the whole 30 minutes doing. I'm going to be giving you messages. What has happened before that's not ideal is somebody asks a question and I start giving them messages. And then in the last 5 minutes, they're like, oh, I have 3 more questions. Okay, first of all, a lot of times those are lengthy answers that would need to come through that. So you really should have booked like an hour if you wanted that. Or again, you don't have to feel like you have to spend that kind of money for a reading. We can get it in 30 minutes, just plan it out a little bit. Does that make sense? I think that will be a little more streamlined. Leave down in the comments, how you doing? You okay? If you care to share, you want to, be a part of this community and engage in the community, let us know how we can support you. We could be there for one another. The kinds of comments that will not get a response from me would be ones where you're trying to get a personal reading out of me in the comments. I don't do that. Or you're trying to oh, my children have gone no contact with me. Oh, I've done nothing. And it's like a comment like this long, trying to claim how innocent you are. Like, we know it's you. We see you. This is a community of hypersensitive people, okay? We're a little finely attuned, okay? That's how I'm making a living over here. We see you. We're not going to feel sorry for you. Well, some of you get sucked in there and you're like, oh, I feel so bad for you. I'm praying for you. Like, okay, that's nice. That's nice. But, like, let's not enable. Or do whatever you want. I don't care. Anyway, leave in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. I am sending you all so much love and take care.